e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, d6, d4, bishop d7, knight c3, knight g e7, bishop c4, h6, bishop e3, knight g6, queen d2, bishop g4, castle queenside, bishop takes f3, g takes f3, e takes d4, bishop takes d4, knight g e5, bishop e2, knight takes d4, queen takes d4, c6, f4, knight d7, bishop g4, knight c5, rook h g1, queen c7, bishop h3, knight e6, bishop takes e6, f takes e6, knight e2, queen a5, rook takes g7, bishop takes g7, queen takes g7, castle queenside, a3, e5, f5, queen c5, rook f1, queen c4, queen g4, rook h g8, queen f3, d5, e takes d5, queen takes d5, queen takes d5, rook takes d5, knight g3, rook g4, f3, rook f4, b3, b5, rook f2, king d7, king b2, king e7, king c1, king f7, rook f1, rook h4, rook f2, king f6, knight f1, rook d7, knight e3, h5, rook g2, rook g7, rook d2, rook d4, rook f2, rook g1 check, king b2, rook e1, knight g2, rook e d1, king c3, a5, knight e3, rook 1 d2, rook f1, rook e2, knight d1, b4 check, a takes b4, a takes b4 check, king b2, rook d d2, king b1, rook takes c2, h4, rook c d2, king c1, rook d3,